Oh, hello there. Welcome to Beerzerker 80, and I am your host, Beerzerker. And tonight, we're trying out some Shiraz from South Africa, from the two oceans here. Quite happy with their Malbec. So I thought I'd try out their Shiraz, and the two oceans referring to the Indian Ocean on the one side and the Atlantic Ocean on the other, which are creating ideal weather conditions for growing grapes, which is the main ingredient in Shiraz. Alright, so let's just tear this wine apart here. It's been breathing for probably getting dang near 4 hours. Dang near. Alright. Ooh, smelling great. It's a little bit unorthodox for what you may be used to in a Shiraz. Not anything too unusual. It's just a little bit mellower up front. Mellower all the way across. But not... I don't want to come across as like trying to say it's watery or weak. It's not that. It's just a little bit softer than what you're probably used to if you're trying out Australian Shirazes and stuff. So, and South African Shiraz, because I had the Guardian Peak, so check that review because if you want to have the best Shiraz possibly on earth, that was probably up for the runnings. So I did that one. That was a great score. I might go back and pick up a case of it. I wish I had the money to do that kind of thing. Fabulous stuff. And so did not hesitate to pick up the Two Oceans Shiraz because their Malbec is phenomenal. So go back and check my review on that. Very, very happy with the Malbec from these guys. I think I may have another wine from these guys that I either drank or have in the cellar, a white wine. And this one's not bad. Definitely better than about 75% of what's in your wine store. So when I'm tearing this apart, it's only in comparison to like the Guardian Peak Shiraz or from South Africa. So just so you know, we don't want to... I'm going to refund this a little bit, but not... make no mistake, that this is not crap. So great aroma. We're getting the vegetables up front. Nice berry, like blackberry, kind of fruity aroma tying in with that perfectly in a balanced way. Nice purple on the rim, especially when you get the bubbles like on the pour. Whoops. And of course, this being the 2012. Now that's nice. Okay, you're going to want to put some air through this, and you're going to want to let it breathe for quite some time. As I first cracked the cap on this, it was really nice. Like, it had no offensive flavors or any offensive characteristics whatsoever. But that soon changed after about 5 to 10 minutes. But up front it was good, but it was just basically alcoholic grape juice. And so after a little bit of breathe time, it got quite sour in the middle for a long time. That's pretty much gone, especially if you put some air through it. When you put the air through it, it just kind of brings out a lot of the hidden flavors to kind of really balance it out and almost force it to be heavy on the palate, like to bring those flavors that you're used to in the Shiraz out, which once you do that is phenomenal. I'll take a drink here without putting air through. Yeah, it's getting better even without air. It's still very mellow that way. You're getting a lot of like the blackberries. It's just tasting like so smooth and mellow for a Shiraz. This is phenomenal. but be aware you do have to let this breathe for quite some time to get it in this type of shape. Like I said, we're coming up on probably like hour number 4, and to have it be satisfying, you have, without putting air through it, you need to give it that much time. And like what I do is I open it about supper time and I take a drink down to about here, and I let it breathe. I'm a little bit drunk. I normally don't do that, but I've been really trying to review the hell out of this. I've been reviewing it since here, you know. But but I was kind of in my mind thinking, you know, it's gonna get really good if I just give it enough breathe time, and that seems to be the case. Up until now, it really was still quite awkward, and I wasn't quite sure what to think of it. So for an $11 bottle of Shiraz, take a drink way ahead of time, like 4 hours. Just don't be impatient. That's your patience is a virtue, and that's the truth, baby. You know what I'm saying? So this is phenomenal right now. Give this 4 hours. Maybe invest in a decanter or a lemonade jug or something, because this is awesome. Awesome. The problems were up until this point. It's just right out of the gate. It was just had a lot of sourness right in the middle. Pretty hard to get over that. If you're talking about hour number like 3, putting a lot of air through it, make it come alive and give it that boldness that kind of evens everything out. Now it's just good. However, it's just really nice and cool, fruity, well balanced. You're getting a bit of spice, nice dry finish, kind of a bit of a pastiness there. Vegetables up front. I mean, but drinking this too early, I was getting all kinds of really weird flavors, which is cool to taste. Salmon skin and buttermilk and strange cheeses and you know, all kinds of weird stuff in there. But now it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal aroma. Great mouthfeel. Almost bringing a nice licoricey type taste, like black licorice. A little bit like a slight bit of fennel. Really quite fabulous. Really impressed with South African wines I've been trying. So with the Shiraz, just keep in mind it needs some time, which is something that you should experiment with pretty much all your wines. You know, if you open it up and within half an hour you've drank half the bottle, don't be surprised if you're not that happy with the results. Most wine that I'm drinking, you have to let it breathe for quite some time. Some wines you don't. I mean, you do get the odd one that's just great no matter what. But I don't know. This South African stuff has got to be some of the best wine in the world, and it's so cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. And I definitely recommend, like, the Two Oceans Malbec was phenomenal. I'm just so sick of going to Australia and Argentina. Like, Australia for Shiraz, Argentina for Malbec. And so I've been trying different places, and South Africa is bringing it. And Chile as well. I never thought I'd like Merlot. From most people back in the day, Thanksgiving dinner, we're bringing like these French concoctions, and just off that basis, I had decided I just hated Merlot, and a lot of people I think have the exact same disposition towards it. But when you try Chilean Merlot for $9 a bottle, it's probably going to change the way you think about Merlot. So don't be too close-minded on the varietal, but you can. I'm finding it's better to be close-minded on the location, a little bit more so. Although I'm sure that there are terroirs within the regions that will change your mind in that respect. But it kind of sucks just to keep picking up wine after wine after wine from a specific country and getting basically the same results that aren't pleasing you. So yeah, this properly decanted is a fabulous wine. It's going to be a hard one to rate because if it's not decanted well, you're going to be kind of like, what the heck is going on here? But it is a really nice Shiraz to try, to have something a little bit different, because it is a little bit lighter than what you're probably used to. A little bit more mellower, especially up front. It's still bringing some spice in the back, for sure. All kinds of vegetableness up front, which I'm finding like the wines I really like a lot are bringing vegetables to the table up front, and that's why I like Chilean red wines and the South African ones so much. It sounds weird, but I mean, it doesn't taste exactly like vegetables, but it's bringing those just associations that really are rounding out the wine really nice, and you know, kind of giving that upper richness that's kind of what I want anyway. The cheaper wines I find it just have these horrible acid bombs within them, and they don't mellow out with breathe time, and they're thin and nasty, and they don't have that richness that kind of the vegetable kind of is that nice hearty flavor that's really helping this out. And like this has tons of vegetables up front, like cabbage, asparagus, typically are flavor associations that I get off wines that I know eventually are going to open up real nice with a bit of breathe time. So yeah, so the 2012 is a hit if you want to give it 4 hours, or maybe invest in it. I just take the cap off, drink it to about down to here, wait a while, then drink a little bit more, wait a while, and then by hour number 4, I'm pretty much at the bottom, and then I'm like really happy. But eventually, I'll get a decanter here, and that might help you out a lot in speeding up the process. Just getting more air across it. Okay, that's awesome. So if you give it 4 hours of breathe time, I'd shoot it I shoot at 89.5. It's pretty close to a 90-point wine. In fact, I'm really enjoying it and really pushing this as something that you should try if you are into Shiraz, just to kind of try something a little bit different, especially if you've just been kind of sticking to the Australian stuff. It's quite a bit different, and but if you're not gonna give it the proper breathe time, it's gonna be kind of horrible. You're definitely gonna be down near an 80. So I highly recommend just decanting it properly and giving it the full amount that you're gonna need. Experiment with it, drink it a little bit at a time, and you'll be really happy with this once it gets to where it should be. Just a nice mellow, like a little bit lower key Shiraz, awesome. But definitely check out Two Oceans in South Africa. And I think I'm about to move on. Next goal is to hit an awesome white wine, so I'm gonna do some research and find out where to go for a nice white wine. Hey, might even be South Africa. Who knows, right? I'm sure there'll be a few around there. I've already done New Zealand, right? Enough of that. And Germany. I really like the German Rieslings and stuff, but and the Italian ones, I don't know. But I want to find a white wine that really blows my mind, like awesome. So if you have any suggestions, leave in the comments, and let's find some killer wines together here on Beerzerker Radio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah!